Aloha, and thanks so very much to our hosts, David Santuro and Kim Lin. Thanks very much, and thanks for everybody for bringing this forum together. Maybe the biggest we've ever seen here at Honolulu Defense Forum, and we're so very grateful for us all to be here. Quick mahalo to all the leaders here in the room, President Whips, Governor Green, I don't know, Minister Koizumi, I don't know if he's here yet or not, Ambassadors Glass Carlson, General Whiting, General Bronner, General Uchikura, Secretary DeSombre, and the Assistant Secretaries, Chairman Thornberry, and all of my former bosses here in the second row. Yeah, former bosses and mentor, they're here staring, judging. Admiral Harris, Admiral Richardson, Admiral Fargo, Admiral Fallon, Admiral Aquilino, and Generals Nakasone, General Fenton, General Flynn, and so many others. Eric Schmidt, Mark Benioff, Robert Geckel, thank you so much. We have so many teammates, I'm not sure I can give justice to all, but am most grateful for the presence of all. And to our component and sub-unified commanders, flag and general officers, allies and partners, state, local leaders, senior enlisted leaders, entrepreneurs, researchers, investors, innovators, builders. Thanks to all for being here. Deeply encouraged by everyone's commitment to advancing our strategic objectives, engaging in dialogue, and most importantly, delivering results. And so today, in recognition of that, I want to do three things. I want to highlight where we've been, discuss the current strategic environment, and then chart the course about where we're going to go together. And then, most importantly, look forward to answering questions and having the discussion, because that's where the real power is in our discussion today. So Indo-Pacific strategy runs on a simple constraint, and that constraint is distance, time, and space. And you can have the best ships, the best aircraft, the best troops, most importantly, but if you can't get combat power ashore, you don't turn the map. And this is where an unlikely hero enters, speaking of builders. Andrew Jackson Higgins, a flamboyant New Orleans boat builder who originally built rugged shallow draft boats for the bayou. After Pearl Harbor, the Marine Corps and the fleet and all of us needed something the textbooks did not provide, and that was a way to land personnel and equipment on the beaches fast and at scale and without a harbor. And Higgins did not exactly seem to be the answer according to the staid Navy's traditional view of a leader, but he was a businessman with a temper, the intuition as of a shop floor leader, and the habit of ignoring the word impossible. He also had one thing the Pacific demanded, and that was a design that worked and the nerve to scale it. He fought for attention, he won contracts, and then did the part that won wars, production. His workforce built more than 20,000 landing craft. His workforce included 12,500 what were called LCVPs, but people didn't say LCVP, they called them Higgins Boats. And the irony was that a craft born on the bayou became the vehicle that carried American power across the surf, from Pacific atolls to the decisive campaigns that follow. Eisenhower later put it very bluntly that Higgins won the war for us. So deterrence doesn't start at the shoreline. It starts with the ability to integrate, train, secure, sustain, and scale what the fight requires at speed, at scale, and with allies and partners. Faster than the problem changes and faster than the competitor can adjust. And that's what that's why we're operationalizing readiness, and that's what operationalizing readiness and delivering deterrence means. And so I'm honored here to have the 26th commander of USINDOPACOM here with us, who helped set the course with Seize the Initiative. And we're continuing to strengthen our alliances and our partnerships, expanding our posture and accelerating advanced capabilities, integration, and interoperability, because deterrence constantly demands visible capability and credible will. And we're continuing to build the connective tissue that enables the joint force and our allies and partners to move together at speed across the largest, most consequential theater on Earth. A couple of examples that highlight how the system comes together to meet the strategic needs with the Guam defense system. Guam sits at the forward edge of the tyranny of distance. Guam anchors our ability to surge, sustain, and respond. Guam is the homeland, and we defend our homeland in a way that makes sense in the 21st century as an integrated system of sensors, shooters, command and control, logistics, power, and resilience built to stay on its feet in the fight. We're sharpening readiness through our bilateral and multilateral joint exercises, Resolute Dragon, Northern Edge, Balikatan, Talisman Saber, Keen Edge, exercises that stress command and control, distributed operations, integrated fires, and layered defense with allies and partners. These events include complex joint all-domain exercises enabled by long-range precision strike, by live fire demonstrations demonstrating our lethality, and all the world-class exercises that we either host or participate in build the habits of mind and habits of action that we will rely on under pressure. Shared understanding, interoperability, speed of coordination, resilient communication, disciplined execution, and decision superiority, especially in degraded environments. Now the strategic environment demands a fully integrated approach to security and economics, system integration. The end of history, as the man wrote, has now given way to the revenge of history. And the Cold War's peace dividend enabled global growth and prosperity, but it also deprioritized security. The new national security strategy recognizes that economic power is the foundation of national security, and that military strength deters threats, enables peace, and that both together create the conditions for prosperity and for global security. The moment demands precision and seriousness, and the Secretary of War has given clear tasking: project and sustain such strength in the Indo-Pacific that our would-be adversaries do not even consider aggression. We are resolute on preserving a free and open Indo-Pacific where sovereignty holds, coercion fails, and disputes resolve peacefully. We recognize the pace, scale, and scope of China's historic military buildup. We take it seriously because realism is responsible, and deterrence requires an honest appraisal of capability. Building on this, the other major change we see in the strategic environment is the changing character of warfare. The nature of warfare never changes, the continuation of policy by other means. But warfare today is changing drastically in ways that matter so much to every leader in this room, and by extension to every investor, engineer, researcher, entrepreneur, and all of us. So 3 meta-trends are reshaping modern conflict with the potential to deliver exponential leverage. The first is that information technology has made information operations, cognitive operations, cyber operations much more volatile, much more vulnerable, and a much more salient form of warfare. Entities can exploit the information environment where perceptions can outpace facts and disrupt decision-making, often without firing a shot. Second, the commoditization of unmanned systems has expanded access to capabilities once reserved for major powers. Proliferated unmanned systems have made cheap kill at scale more and more possible, increasing the effectiveness, all things being equal, of defending forces and making traditional assault, which we generally calculate at a 3-to-1 ratio, 10-to-1, 20-to-1, 100-to-1, where infantry takes ground, holds ground, has become much, much more costly. And the third meta-trend is the commoditization. By commoditization, I mean everybody has it. Commoditization of space, information technology, penetrating weapons enabled by hypersonics, by EW, by maneuver, has made precision discerning strike a more salient form of effecting political outcomes. Forces can now see and reach critical nodes, including leadership, from across the theater at lower cost and at greater speeds. Midnight Hammer is an example of this as well. These three meta-trends are rolled up into the mega-trend of the absolute dominance of information and decision superiority. We define that as the ability to observe, orient, decide, act, assess, learn, and adjust so much faster than the other. And it rests on the realities of data, of compute, of the application of data and compute, and of the integration with human beings and decision makers to turn speed and options across the joint force. As we connect across sensors, networks, fires, especially with allies and partners, that advantage doesn't grow by addition, it compounds. One cue becomes many, many effects. So where are we going over the next 18 months? We will set conditions for strategic stability, and we will maintain deterrence. We'll continue to possess military advantage to prevail in competition, in crisis, and in conflict, and will further integrate with allies and partners in dynamic relationships and security frameworks that bolster our respective national sovereignty. When we do this, we'll stabilize across the region and preserve a free and open Indo-Pacific. We're going to treat information and physical power as one operating system. Every plan, every investment, every operation. We don't bolt information operations on the end. We integrate and suffuse it from the very start. We organize around resilient command and control, secure data sharing, and common standards that allow us to integrate with allies and partners at speed without compromising security. And when it happens, and it's real, it happens as it did here in the Indo-Pacific. In May of 1942, Nimitz faced a commander's reality. An enemy that moved fast and ambiguity became standard. Victory required action before the fight, not analysis after the fact. Here at Pearl Harbor Station, Hypo, the Navy's code-breaking team in Hawaii, built a decision superiority system that could keep up. Joe Rochefort led a team that did more than read messages. They fused fragments of information from multiple sources, tracked patterns, argued hard, and then did the step that separates insight from impact. They tested their judgment. Hypo assessed that the adversary's target designator, Alpha Foxtrot, pointed to Midway Island. Rochefort didn't ask Nimitz to bet the fleet on a hunch. He gave him a method. Midway sent an uncoded report that its freshwater system had failed, and Hypo listened. Japanese traffic later reported that Alpha Foxtrot suffered a water shortage. Rochefort had delivered a clear call. Nimitz set the ambush. The fleet moved with purpose, and because the information system produced confidence, did so fast and under pressure. Those habits of mind and habits of action are on steroids today. The lesson's clear. Decision advantage produces decision superiority. He built discipline around the information, shared standards inside the team, secure handling, rapid validation, and fast dissemination for action. That discipline let Nimitz move from ambiguity to action at speed and under pressure. And this is where industry and researchers matter immediately. Our ability to build systems that operate under degraded, intermittent, and denied conditions. Building architectures that share what we must share and protect what we must protect. And to test and evaluate in realistic environments where the network isn't perfect and the adversary gets a vote. In this theater, we don't get a warm-up lap. We either integrate information into the plan or we let the environment dictate it. Next, we build combat power that remains credible after first contact. That means resilient and survivable systems, accelerating mission technology, faster cycles, modular designs, rapid prototyping, and rapid learning. And it means accelerating AI-enabled mission support in a ways that ensures trust, assured, testable, explainable AI that helps commanders and headquarters compare time, compress time and space, reduce friction without losing human accountability over our decisions. We connect sensors to decision makers, to shooters across domains, and we sustain that connection under stress. Next, alliances and partnerships are our strategic center of gravity. When we operate with allies and partners, we multiply capability and we raise the threshold for aggression. Japan strengthens the national defense and modernizes the alliance. Japan's increasing its defense spending, and we match that with the seriousness that it deserves, USFJ 2.0, so we can plan and we can operate together. The Republic of Korea remains a linchpin for peace and stability in Northeast Asia. Their leadership has signaled an increase in defense spending. That's a clear signal of seriousness. And we keep building interoperability so capability translates into deterrence. Australia continues to deepen interoperability and expand combined capability. We build posture, we train together, and we modernize together so we can act together. And the Republic of the Philippines continues to strengthen its defense and deepen cooperation. The enhanced defense cooperation agreement sites increase responsiveness and strengthen deterrence, because when crisis occurs, posture is absolutely indispensable. Across Southeast Asia, we keep doing strategically important actions. We strengthen our relationship in ways that reinforce ASEAN member states' capability to reduce coercion and preserve sovereignty. As we talk about partners, we're also talking about our interagency partners. This week, we're hosting the Indo-Pacific Investment Accelerator, co-hosting with the Department of State. Some of you in the audience will be joining us for that. We're bringing together government agencies and private investors to leverage the power, resources, and access of the private sector. And finally, we continue to invest in a more agile and resilient posture that balances key capabilities across Northeast Asia, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. We balance forward, station, and rotational forces to expand locations from where the Joint Force can project power more persistently throughout the region. We're improving resiliency, enhancing distributed operations, heightening the credibility of our combat readiness and lethality, and every additional option is strengthening deterrence. This is where the theme of the forum becomes absolutely operational. The Commander-in-Chief has set the direction. Warfighters execute with discipline. Allies and partners build combined capability. Scholars and entrepreneurs generate the ideas and the tools, and industry scales them with what works and what sustains in the field. That's not 5 separate efforts. That's one integrated system. To the Joint Force, We operate like the unforgiving arrives without warning, because it does. And we keep readiness anchored in what sustains us. We build competence, cohesion. We take care of families, because families makes the mission possible. To our interagency teammates, bring every instrument to bear: diplomacy, development, intelligence, law enforcement, homeland resilience. We win when we align the instruments of national power, not when we operate in our lanes. To industry and researchers, we need your initiative and your innovation now. We have to field faster. We have to iterate in theater. We have to provide resilience under stress and build systems that work. Building space-enabled capabilities that survive interference. A reason why I'm so grateful that General Stephen Whiting is here with us now. Building supply chains that sustain production and the environment that strains them. And build with allies from day one, because interoperability is the standard. To our allies and partners, keep building capability for your own national defense. Keep integrating together and keep strengthening. And I'll close where I started. I come back to Higgins because he captured a truth about readiness and deterrence in the Pacific. Capability counts, but scale wins. The Higgins Boat wasn't a silver bullet. It was a solution that worked. And then a solution we could build, field, maintain, and improve at scale. And that is the test of our era. Readiness lives in the hard, daily work of turning ideas into fielded capability. Standards that let us connect. Systems that keep working when the networks degrade, and sustainment that generates combat power forward, industry that delivers scale on time. Higgins won attention with a design. He changed history by building the system behind it, and that's our charge now. Build readiness so deterrence holds. And with that, let's get to the power in today's discussion, and that is the questions and answers. Thank you. Please, on to questions.